She was a happy 13-year-old girl, an honor student, a gymnast who also played volleyball and was part of the cheerleading squad. But that life filled with so much promise was cut tragically short.
My whole world revolved around her.
That world was shattered when Judy Brumbelow's daughter, Kelly, went missing back in December of 1989. When Judy stepped out of the shower one evening, her daughter was gone.
She had been playing basketball with the boy next door, so the first thing I did was I called his house.
The boy next door was 12-year-old Terrence Sampson, Kelly's classmate. The two were friends, so Judy had no reason to suspect the boy. Later, Terrence's father came knocking on Judy's door, delivering the news that would change her life forever.
He was just bending over like he was about to be sick, you know, and he kept yelling, "Judy, I found her, I found her." So I started running out behind him. When we got to the side yard, I looked down at the end of the yard and I could see some legs sticking up out from under a pile of firewood.
Investigators say Kelly Brumbelow was stabbed 97 times at the hands of 12-year-old Terrence Sampson.
During the trial, the prosecutor asked everybody to please close their eyes and silently count to 97. It takes a while.
18 years later, Judy is sharing her story with an unlikely audience. Inmates at the Kyle Correctional Center, charged with everything from murder to rape to DWI. It's part of a program called Bridges to Life.
We bring crime victims into the prison to meet with the offenders, to tell their story of crime and the effects that it's had on themselves, on their family.
Her next birthday, what did I do? I went out to the cemetery. I mean, it's like you don't throw the party anymore. So it's really important to me to stress to these guys, you know, what it's like 6 months down the road, what it's like the first time Mother's Day comes around.
Finding the strength to share her story didn't come easy. When her daughter died, Judy felt she lost her purpose in life. Bridges to Life has given her a new purpose, showing inmates who will soon be released back into society that it doesn't take violence to resolve problems.
You know, they expect me to be very vindictive and really, you know, there to take it out on them. And when they find out that my purpose is to help them so that they don't continue this life of crime, then, you know, it really causes people to pay attention.
And it helps keep her daughter's memory alive.
When I talk about her, it reinforces, yeah, she really was real. I mean, I can feel her presence again.
Karen Martinez, Fox News First.
They're going to be somebody's next door neighbor. They're somebody's dad, brother.
People can change in prison.
I can feel it inside of me. It's a big change.
Many of these men at the Kyle Correctional Center near San Marcos have spent most of their adult lives behind bars. And for many, a life of crime was the only life they knew.
Being in prison, I had that prison mentality and aggressiveness.
Now these men are weeks away from freedom, and they're in the Bridges to Life program. It's a faith-based program that's all about restorative justice. It follows a strict curriculum to help prepare inmates for the outside world.
And the first 5 weeks, they really find out what is crime and how it has hurt people, and then they talk about accountability, responsibility, confession, repentance, forgiveness.
The program has turned Lynn Jones's anger into remorse.
I cry a lot, you know. A lot of guys, they mess with me a lot on the pod because I'm always shedding tears, but my tears are from being incarcerated for so long, you know, and just, you know, anxious about getting back into society and making a difference, making a positive difference.
Tears also come from hearing the stories of victims affected by crime. Well, Terry Reagan prefers to call herself a survivor. You see, back in 1995, she stopped at a gas station on her way home from work. She noticed she was being followed home by 4 teens with a gun.
All of a sudden, I felt a presence next to me in my car. And when I turned to look, all I saw was a young man with a ski mask and a gun.
Terry floored it out of her driveway in reverse. The gunman opened fire at least 8 rounds.
The third bullet went in my neck and landed at the base of my skull over here. And by this time, I'm really kind of far down, and the next one hit me in the scapula.
The teens accused of the crime are behind bars. Meanwhile, Terry's emotional scars are healed by sharing her story with inmates in the Bridges to Life program.
They can't touch their victim, we can't touch our offender, and together we form a bond.
Just by their stories, I know there's thousands more out there, just like hers. And they all come from the hands, by my hands and other convicts' hands out there going out there and doing these crimes. And we need to stop it.
Eddie Melendez is a former drug dealer and user who would shoplift, commit burglaries, anything to support his habit. He says the program has opened his eyes to a side of crime he didn't want to see in the past.
So it helps me see how the victim is, because when I was doing my crimes, I didn't think about them. It was all about me. And now that I'm hearing their stories, well, it's a kick in the gut.
These men, once shunned from society, will soon be released back into the community. And thanks to the Bridges to Life program,
I found my spiritual creator. I found my a foundation that I can use to base everything, all of my principles on and around, you know, a solid foundation. I didn't have that.
many will return to society with a vow to never go back to a life of crime. Karen Martinez, Fox News First.